Let's call the meeting to order. Everyone, please stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Ashley, can I have roll call, please?
Erickson,
Here.
Briggs,
Here.
Cavalier, Kressel, Klatt,
Here.
Tom, or Fed Breton. Yeah, right. Melby,
Here.
Jurdy, here.
Okay, this brings us to the regular agenda. Ashley.
Yes, Your Honor. Item 3.01 is to select the finalists for the city administrator interviews.
Thank you. First of all, Liza, thanks for joining in. It's good to see you again. I guess we'll move in right into discussion. Thoughts?
I'll start out. I think we need to go a little deeper. My own opinion, I don't feel any one of these four candidates would do the city justice.
Okay.
My opinion. Yeah.
I feel the same way. I think we need to start new.
I think there's at least one we should consider.
I don't disagree with you. Is it worth just bringing one candidate up?
Well, if it's the right candidate, then yeah.
I guess we don't know much detail, but hey, look, there was a couple questions or, you know, why, with his resume or, you know, there was a little bit of dirt going on down in Appleton and why he was asked to be removed.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Numbers.
The nature and the identity of these
Sorry.
candidates is
Sorry.
considered confidential, so please do not use
Okay.
any identifying characteristics.
Okay, sorry. I guess I think we start over. I don't know what everybody else feels.
Well, would it actually hurt to have somebody come up and, if it was only one, just come up for an interview and see what we think?
Do you have a number that you want Delane to?
Well, I
do
don't know
here?
how we should do this, should I say the number I'm thinking?
Yes,
So
certainly.
I'm thinking my best candidate was number 4.
Yeah,
Yep.
I would agree with you. I would like to see number 4, but I'd like to see another pool of candidates. I felt number 4 had a very time-intensive explanation in his cover letter and his resume. I felt that really the only person that had the most relevant experience to a city, management style, multiple master's degrees in public administration and accounting. I think, yes, understanding that there was some concerns with, but I think if you read Crookston's newspaper as well in the past, for some of the concerns that we've had that, not everybody's always going to be in agreement, and sometimes those get into the news.
That's another thing. I remember a candidate not too long ago that when he presented his application to us, he had been terminated. Well, then when I did some more research, the last 4 administrators from that particular city
Right.
was terminated. So I mean, is that the applicant's fault, or is that the place that they came from?
Right.
No,
So, yeah.
Both, all the things, like I Googled that number 4 today, and there's a lot more to that one that was just all negative, and it's
Obviously.
different versions, but.
I mean, I don't know, we can see, but I mean, what if we bring up this, I mean, what's to say we bring him up and do an interview? He's not that far away.
Yeah.
No,
And-
who's interested in number 4? I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, that would be my choice
I-
too of
yeah.
all of them.
That's my
Yeah.
choice. That's number
To
4.
throw him in there and then work on, extend it or whatever, to get other applicants, see if we can get some other applicants. I mean, I look at the last time we did this, there was 2 or 3 that, were pretty good. Here, and like I said, I think I agree with everybody else that number 4 is the only one that's really somewhat qualified.
Liza, could I ask you a question? This is Charlie Reynolds. Is it possible to get a pool of candidates and include number 4 in that automatically? How would that work if possible?
Sure. Thank you, City Attorney Reynolds. So I can certainly communicate with the candidate indicating that the council would like to extend its advertising process in hopes of gaining some additional applicants. I can certainly ask that he remains open and willing to stay on, but I mean, anything could happen. He could lose interest. He could, receive an opportunity elsewhere. So there is a risk of losing him if you didn't keep him in on this round. And there also is no guarantee that if we go back and advertise again, that, the pool would change, to be
So, I
honest.
mean,
this
That's
is
kind
a
of what
pretty,
happened last time, is the pool changed on our second round.
we
The
did
first round-
wait.
What's that?
And we did wait. We had a period of time before we re-advertised again, because my only concern is the candidate pool probably hasn't changed a whole lot since we just closed this. So if the council is willing to wait just a few months and continue the work that, for instance, that you started in last night in meeting with the league, and so that I can start, developing a narrative of the work that you guys are doing to, promote this as a great place to work, that would probably help as well. That's my 2
Is
cents.
it out of the realm of possibility to just bring this one applicant up and do a, because I'm just thinking to myself, if I'm this number 4, and then I get a note saying, hey, we like you, but we want to see what else is out there, then I would say, well,
Yeah.
well, I'm not going there, So I think we might have, like Liza says, I mean, who knows what we're gonna get? And at the end of the day, I mean, listen, I really like to talk to this number 4 sooner than later. I mean, when I look at his resume and his education background, I mean, even look at the last group that we had prior to that. I mean, I feel this guy would have been in the tops of that one as well. So if you take, the last group that we interviewed when we hired Amy, I feel this one, this number 4 would have been in that top 3 as well. Does anybody disagree with that?
No, I don't either.
I wasn't aware, to be honest, so I can't.
No, I
share
think
feelings or thoughts.
he's saying the right thing there, but Liza, how do you think this should be handled, to where not making him feel like, you're not quite the right one? What do we do? You know what I mean? Is it interviewing him now, or just talking to him and saying, you know what, you're in the top, whatever, we want to get some more applicants, or, I mean, how should we go about that?
I'm trying to think, because this has never happened before. I mean, I could certainly contact him and say, the council is really excited to meet you. They would like to offer you an initial interview, and then instead of going by the schedule that you all have, maybe we can try and bring them in as soon as possible, because if it's only one person I'm conducting the backgrounding on, I could probably get that done fairly quickly. So, I mean, maybe that's how we handle it. I'd certainly look for guidance from you all as well.
I think, like Delane is saying, we don't want to like scare him off thinking that he's not good enough and whatever else, but I would like to see more than just one applicant that we're kind of excited for. And I think the biggest thing we did last time was that meet and greet. I thought that sealed the deal for quite a few of us that were there, and just visit them face to face and hear their answers to other people from the community. And I just think that's what I'd like to see, but just bringing one, it's a little tougher that way.
So the thing I want to impress upon everybody here, I mean, I know this firsthand, and a lot of you do too. I mean, this is a reflection of the job market in this day and age. I mean, in my own personal business, I'd love to find, better qualified candidates a lot of time, but it's just not. I mean, Liza, you've been doing this. What are you seeing out there, not just Crookston, but other areas as well?
You bet. Great question. So yes, in talking to my colleagues who represent various sectors, we are all experiencing difficulty. I have personally noticed it in the work that I do since January. Yes, the candidate numbers are lower. Yes, the quality is lower. Honestly, though, this is the lowest number of candidates I've received for a position, so that's why it makes me nervous that if we turn right around and reissue it again, since the market is, it hasn't changed much over the last 4 weeks, it makes me nervous that we may not get better results. Maybe if we put a pause, invite him up, see what you think, and maybe reissue it again in September, at least that gives a few months, the economy's shifting, changing, perhaps maybe that'll be enough of a change. I wish I had a glass ball.
So if
I-
you, when you do this, I was looking at number 4's references or whatever, which include a lot of the city people that he worked with. When you do your background check and reference check, you could probably find out more about that too, where you might find out, well, this isn't a good plan, or maybe it's deeper than we know about. I think that would be beneficial too, because, everybody had bad issues in their life or whatever, and I just hate to, I agree with Elaine to a certain extent that, what he did in the past, but he uses, for his references, he has 2 people that he worked under, so to me, that was a positive thing too, which maybe in a background check, you can find out whether that's detrimental or it's a bonus for him.
And
You are right, and that is one of my favorite parts of these processes. It is unfortunate that the things that you find on the internet or the media, it is very one-sided, and so that's why I take a lot of pride in conducting these personal references. I have a good 30 to 45-minute conversation with each of their personal references, and I do ask those questions. What was their leadership style? How would their staff describe their leadership style? How do they handle conflict? What are maybe some projects or initiatives they'd be proud of? What are some areas that they could grow or develop or improve on? Why are they leaving? Why are they, why would they want to come to Crookston if they shared that with you? And then I put that all into a narrative, and then I share that with you all with all the other background information. So yes, I do feel like it paints more of a more rounded picture, because I have come into many circumstances where I've hesitated myself in forwarding a candidate onto a city, but once I conducted the references, it did show that, there was an election and there was a new council that came on board, and their vision wasn't the same as the previous council's vision, and they blamed that or put that onto that city manager or city administrator. So I've seen a lot of things, and it's nice to have the full picture before you make your decision, that's for sure.
I might share with you all, I did speak with Councilman Cavalier today. He cannot be here, as I indicated, but he did want me to share with you that upon his review, he thought only one candidate would be appropriate for interview, whether it be personal or video, and that was candidate number 4. And Councilman Cavalier said that preference would be to see candidate number 4 in person in Crookston, but if that was not possible or advisable, a follow-up video for all council members with candidate number 4. And he too had some reservations that you've expressed about the items that number 4 indicated in his written summary about difficulties or problems that number 4 had.
Yeah. I think also bringing him on also provides us an opportunity to ask those questions that we're concerned about. And I think between Liza's narrative and us being able to ask him maybe the questions that aren't necessarily on the resume, I think it could give us a better idea and picture of this, if this feels like a good space to be in. I also felt that in not only the video interview and also in what was disclosed, he was very clear about it, very upfront. And I think that we also could see that some of the issues they had, we've probably experienced ourselves as well, as far as how the narratives get out there in the media and personally and within our constituents. And so I think it would be to our benefit to at least give him a chance to share that with us, and then for us to be able to make that decision.
I agree. I feel we could possibly be missing out on the best candidate even after another round. So maybe we hold a little bit different, interview day, maybe instead of a meet and greet, maybe we just spend a little bit more time internally and having them go around and spend a little more time with maybe each department head, say 15, 20 minutes with each department head and stuff like that, because that would be very beneficial to me to get some feedback from the department heads on what their thoughts are, because listen, at the end of the day, they're the ones that need to feel the most comfortable with our choice.
I think you're right there. I think, just a sit down, meet and greet with every department, if it's as a whole in one room.
I can indicate to you that at the department head meeting this morning, I briefly discussed the possibility and my recommendation to you all that if you in fact select a candidate or candidates, that we meet as a department head group with that candidate, and as time permitted, then individual meetings. And they were all certainly in agreement. They hoped that that would be possible. So that certainly could be arranged with a single candidate or multiple.
And like I said, when I got here, I don't want to see another one by video. I want to see it face to face. I want them to be able to talk to this person face to face. I want to be able to talk to them face to face, all of us. I think that's a better way to go. This is a pretty big job, and I think now we did the video thing. It's not that far away, like Delaney mentioned. I think he needs to come up here if this is what we choose, and see us face to face and be able to visit with him and hear his comments and answer his questions.
Is it possible, Liza, that the interview with candidate 4, if that's what the council decides, put it off to a kind of a later date and reissue the publication? How would that work, or would that be not appropriate?
Sure. So again, I think it's, I have to craft a message to our candidate to let him know that you guys are excited to meet with him, and, be honest and upfront and let him know that the candidate pool was not very deep. However, the council's really excited and they want to meet you. They want the department heads to meet you. So I think if I have this conversation with him, we select a date maybe 2 weeks from now to bring him in. And then with the plan that we re-advertise again, when the council, I guess, feels comfortable again. I'm concerned about turning right around and re-advertising again, given that the candidate pool likely will not have changed.
What if we did it on a shorter, say instead of, I don't know, just hear me out. Let's say we brought him in, say as early as next week. And then the council decides, okay, this is the person, this is not the person. Then at that point, we decide to go the route if council doesn't. I just feel I don't think we should advertise again in the middle of this because of the perception. This person might see it again, and then he's thinking that, well, what am I doing here?
Yeah, why should I bother?
Why should I bother? And now we spent this money for nothing. If we're gonna extend it, then at least let's do the first process first. Then after the interview, if people don't think he's the right candidate, then move on with another pool. What are your thoughts on that, Liza?
Yep, I think that sounds good. Yep.
Did we put the cart in front of the horse here? Should we have not discussed this as being, one person that was or one candidate that's possibility? Should we have brought 2 or 3 up here and then we would have had our answer, and then you could just, eliminate all, or just say we were going back, and then you'd have your answer of if this one candidate was worth our time, and being in here and what we're looking for. Because like I say, you hate to lose one. We're only looking for one.
Right.
And I don't care if you had 25 of them out there. You're still looking for one.
I agree with you, and I'm not opposed to bringing 3 up and just running this process and see what happens.
Some people don't interview real well.
Yep.
If you guys remember, our last administrator, I don't know, maybe, or I don't remember, But I think she really increased her stock when she came up and did the interviews that day. So I think a lot of people that day had something else in mind and maybe they changed their mind. So I think those personal interviews really are the key to this whole thing.
And I totally agree
Agreed.
with you, Lane, too, but I think that meet and greet changed a lot of people's mind. It was on more of a sit-down visit, and not maybe even you asking questions as a council, but listening to the public ask questions and how they answered. I thought that was, for me, one of the biggest things, just going table to table and listening what the public had in mind.
I guess that's what I'm saying. I mean, I wish we would have maybe looked at that as let's just see what we got. We've got 4, let's pick we're gonna pick our best 3 or our best 2. Let's go through the process.
Yep.
And then you can, start all over, and you haven't, burnt, you're really a bridge. I mean, you've give it a shot.
So, okay, seems like
So
if we bring in a couple other candidates or one more, so we got 2, which numbers are you looking at?
I also thought 3.
Yeah, I guess 3 would be my number 2.
I had number 1 as my number 2.
I had number 1 also as number 2.
So we have
So, I mean, should we do like we did before and kind of everybody rank them and then go around the room and maybe Ashley can grab them and then pick, and then we'll have a
Yeah, it's probably best.
determination of what,
Well, if it's split, I mean, the other 3 candidates aren't that 4, bring them all in.
Yeah.
Right? I
Well,
mean, there's only 4, we brought 4 in last time, so it doesn't hurt to
I-
listen to them all, but.
And I agree. I mean, I felt that there was potential for all 4, honestly. That's why I forwarded them all to you. So, I mean, I think if you're gonna invite 3, then I would think that extending it to 4 would not add much more to the workload or your workload or your time commitment. And I think it's worth looking at all of them, because as you mentioned, like, they can totally come out of their shell once they meet with you in person, and yeah, it can be an entirely different experience once they're here.
So,
I guess I wouldn't mind if you did that. I mean, like you say, it's another time commitment, it's a few bucks, but you never know when you're gonna find that gem in the rough. I mean, because there's people that just, kind of, what are they looking for? I don't know, but when they talk to you, they can dazzle you. So, I mean, rather than just, say no, I would just as soon see everybody, listen to everybody, spend my day or whatever, and a few bucks and see what we actually got out there.
And we could arrange, it would be somewhat more problematic for the meetings with the department heads, but that can certainly be done.
Yes.
If it was individual departments, that may be problematic if they all come on the same day, but there's nothing that says they have to all come on the same day.
No.
yeah, in fact, maybe we should not do it on the same day. Maybe if we're gonna bring up all 4, maybe do 2 and 2. I don't know,
I thought when we did it on the same day, it kind of gives you all kind of a melting pot in your head of what's going on and what's happening.
I'd still like to see what the group has as the rankings of all of them, so.
I mean, I don't think it hurts for us to at least go around and check and see if, like, we're at least on par with where we're sitting.
I mean, we could go around the room and rate them.
Yeah.
Should we do that?
Yeah, I think that would be
That'd
best.
be a good idea too. That's what we did, but we did it by ballot last time. but-
And again, remember, number, no pronouns either, just number.
So just so that I know, you would just like me to reread, or do you want me to take a tally of who
We'll
was?
just,
Yeah,
I
just
think
do the
we'll just go
tally.
around the room and we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever, however you got them in order.
Okay, so let me just do 1, 2, 3, 4. Here. Just making a quick sheet here.
Are we just doing them all then, or just the top 3?
I think we bring them all 4 in.
Oh, I think
Well,
we should.
we'll just do the tally of the top 3, I think, because it's on the sheet. And then, but I think you're right, Dale, I agree with you. If we're bringing 3, let's bring 4,
So
but
why have your top candidate? if
Because
we're
I want to
bringing
see
all
what
4?
everybody else's thoughts are.
I
That's
would, yeah, like
kinda what I
to see
wanna
some
see too.
consensus.
You just tell me. Okay, so then I will start with Melby.
And how do you want that done? You want, okay, for,
So
my
you-
number 1 is number 4?
Right, so then I'm just gonna write, on number 4, I'm just gonna put your 1, 2, and then I will
There you
put it
go.
in a spreadsheet.
Oh, okay. Okay, so go
Hold on 1
4,
second, do you
4,
mind
3,
if-
1, 2.
Okay, so 4 was your number 1?
Yes.
3, 1, 2. Okay. Christie,
Okay, this is my first place to fourth place.
okay,
4, 3, 2, 1.
so then 3, okay. And then Steve,
4. Well, the way I got them numbered, I guess it'd be 4, 3, 1, 2.
okay. Clayton,
Rank 1, number 4,
okay,
rank 2, number 3,
okay,
and number 1, 3,
and 2, okay.
and number 4 would be number 2.
Yep, so then, perfect, and then, would you like to?
4, 3.
Those last two.
Go 2, 1.
Okay,
Now, Don doesn't have a ranking because he's not here. I did prepare one if you want me to
Go
put
for it.
down. Number 4 was 1,
okay,
number 2 was 2,
okay,
number 1 was 3,
okay,
and number 3 was 4.
okay. And then, so Don, you don't have one, so I won't. put
All I
that.
know is he ranked number 4
I'll just put that
as
on there.
1.
Okay. All right, Joe.
4, 2, 1, 3.
Okay. 2, 1, 3. Okay, and then clap.
4, 3, 2, 1.
3, 2. And then Bed Broughton.
4, 1, 3, 2.
3, 2. Okay.
So, looks like it's pretty much unanimous for 4 across the board for the first one.
Pretty much. So it's 4, 3, and 2 is, it's between a flip. Do you have 3, 1, 2, 3?
It is, there's a coin toss on the,
Yeah,
It
the 3
is.
and 4.
you know,
So,
2 and 3.
2 and,
I could be persuaded one way or the other.
right.
Yeah.
And I can make this into a spreadsheet, so it looks a little bit cleaner.
I think, let's just bring all 4 up. That's my thought.
That's my thought too.
I mean, it's,
Doesn't cost us much more, and you get to see them face to face. You can ask questions, you can have, listen to how they answer other people's questions. I mean, I think that's a big thing. For me, it is. I like to see them face to face then.
I don't disagree. I mean, I just worry about the fact if we throw the baby out with the bathwater here, then it's, even if we got like one candidate that we really like out of this group, we may be losing our opportunity on this candidate. So and one of these other candidates in the interviews when they come up may surprise the heck out of us.
Yep, I agree with you.
And geographically, you all know, it's not as it was the last time. Geographically, it will not be expensive.
Well, and that's
So
the other
can I
thing
also
is
just
if we open this up for a next round, I'm sure Liza's gonna have to open it up to other parts of the country, I would assume, which could cause more travel time. Is that right or not right?
She already did, right, Liza?
How far
I
out did
did,
you?
yep. I advertised nationally regionally, locally, yep, and through personal contact.
What's your personal opinion of why the first round we did last time were pretty much long distance, where this round ended up being more local? So to speak, is there a reason you think of that, or?
No, that is a great question. I guess that's not something that I picked up on right away, but now that you mention it, no, I don't. That's very interesting because, I mean, I do see candidates come from both coasts, Texas, Florida, sometimes California, and sometimes question whether they really know Minnesota.
Fair,
But
they're
no,
watching the
they were-
weather.
They saw our last winter.
Liza, can I just clarify real quick? So if all 4 candidates do come up, then you do background checks and we get the narrative first as well?
So next step is I contact all 4 tonight and let them know they're invited for interviews on May 2nd. And then we get started on the backgrounding piece. So they'll complete a work intellectual profile, then we'll start diving into their backgroundings. We'll look at their credit history, verify, check into their criminal history, verify their driving license, schooling, education, everything that they say that it is. And then, yes, I also contact personal references. So a former and a current supervisor, have those conversations. Then all of that 1 week before your interview on May 2nd, I push forward an email similar to what you just received last week, or you're able to click on their link. You're able to look at all that information, read the narratives, and then I guess the feedback that I have heard is that you have a pretty good feel for who your candidates are before you sit down and you meet with them one-to-one on, face-to-face, obviously, on May 2nd.
And that one clarification, do you want all the candidates here on the same day, or do you prefer them on alternating days?
I think we do it all on one day
All
like
on
we
one
did
day.
last time.
Here's something that's very
What'd you
important.
say, Liza? Excuse me?
Yes, all on one day.
Yeah, I think so.
I want to try to figure out a way because a couple of heads had said to me they'd like, and then some, I don't know how much, individual time with each candidate.
Sure.
And
Because they said, well, maybe in a group, they don't want to ask or visit with them, so I don't know. Just-
I think you're gonna get a lot of repeat questions if you're meeting with each department head one-on-one. I think you could split it up to have half and half.
So after they meet with the department heads, do we get a feel from the department heads of who they
Yes.
like, or?
Well,
Yes.
that certainly can be arranged, sure, certainly.
Because I want their input.
Yes, so it's very similar to last time. Any stakeholders that you invite in this process, I do seek their feedback. It's through a written format. It's a 4-page or a 4-question questionnaire where they simply are asked, what are your general impressions of the candidate? How do you see, what strengths would they bring to the position? How do you see them fitting in not only with the city, but partnering organizations throughout the community? And then there's an opportunity for them to provide any other comments that they feel is important for you in your decision-making process. And their conversations are very different than the questions that you can ask. So your questions will be scripted. I mean, I will provide that for you, and that's to keep you out of hot water. Your department head's going to have more of a conversational back and forth. Now, they can't ask, are you married, or what religion are you, or they can't do any of that. But there is this, tell me more about your department. And, that candidate can ask the department heads, tell me more about your department and what's the working relationship like with the council. And then the department heads can ask them, well, do you have experience working with public works or streets? And you can start having some of those conversations. And then before you know it, some of the personal side comes out, like, well, I love to golf, or I like to da-da-da-da. And then that's how your department heads can be able to expand more on that. Well, tell us more about that. And before you know it, they're able to find out whether that candidate is willing to move into your community, or how involved you think, or they think that the candidate will be in other extracurricular activities within their community. It's through those conversations that then they'll provide you feedback in that form. And then I can share that with you in a public setting. But again, those are not the conversations you can have. So that's where you really get to know your candidates too on a deeper level.
That's what happened at the meet and greet last time, correct? That's the forms
Yes.
that they are trying to fill out and stuff?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. And you brought those to us, if I remember right,
before we interviewed them, correct?
A week.
No, after. So you
right
sit down
after?
and you have your 45-minute interviews. After you're done with all your interviews, then I lay it all out on the table and I say, this is your feedback from your public, this is your feedback from your department heads,
Okay.
and then you go into discussion and deliberation.
But your narrative and background check will be done a week before, correct? We'll receive
Yes.
that?
Yep.
Okay.
One question, for tonight, we do have the media here. Should we wait to announce till tomorrow after you've had a chance to contact candidates, or do we announce tonight?
So I really love the fact that I'm able to work out a way with the media that if you allow me an opportunity to contact them, the finalists, let them know what the process is, get them started on their homework, then we in turn tomorrow morning will create a press release with some standard information regarding the candidates, where they've worked, what type of education they have. We'll supply that to the city. City can supply that to whoever they feel they want to share that with.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
We have a motion.
need a motion to invite all 4 candidates.
I make that motion, Your Honor.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Joe. Further discussion?
We have roll call.
We'll have roll call, please.
Erickson,
Aye.
Briggs,
Aye.
Cavalier. Oh, not here. Kressel,
Aye.
Klatt,
Aye.
Bed Broughton,
Aye.
Melby,
Aye.
Jurdy.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Liza,
Right.
thank you again for your time.
I have a couple more pieces of business to attend
Sure.
to. So interview schedule, I did include a draft in your packet. So I wanted you to take a peek at that, see if there's any changes that you want to make with that. Obviously on the draft, I show that there are 3 time slots for 3 candidates. Obviously, I'll extend that to 4. I can play with this a little bit where we can add coffee, like a coffee meet and greet first thing in the morning for the candidates with your department heads before we do a city tour. Then from 11 to 12:30, if you're interested, perhaps that's where we open it up to the community and do a meet and greet where your staff beyond your department heads, they too also have an opportunity to meet with your candidates. Obviously, we have a plug in there for lunch. Formal interviews would then start that afternoon. That's 45 minutes with each candidate and the entire council. And obviously is some free time in there for some of these candidates. And the fact that this would be scheduled on Monday, May 2nd, your candidates could come in on Sunday and already start doing their research about the community. They can also meet with, conduct some self-arranged meetings with county commissioners, the administrator, area city administrators and clerks, the school district superintendent and principals, realtors, chamber, commerce director, and all that kind of good stuff. So that is what the schedule looks like in a snapshot, and I just wanted to make sure that this fits with your needs.
Yeah.
Apparently so.
Sounds good.
All right, wonderful. We'll finalize that and I'll send over another, a finalized version of this for you to take a peek at. Next item of business is the travel reimbursement. This is where you as a council decide whether it's appropriate to offer a travel reimbursement to your candidates. It's either yes or no. If it's yes, then this is where you decide, what do you think is fair? Do you provide a stipend? Do you provide simply just an evening stay in a hotel, knowing that you'll be providing coffee the next morning, or perhaps, a chamber bucks? I've seen that been done, or a mileage reimbursement. I guess the point is every city does it differently, and I guess I don't remember what you did the last time, so I'd be interested in hearing what you feel comfortable with.
Has it been like, maybe just like whatever the governmental mileage rate is, and if they're like outside of a certain radius, then hotels provided, or do you have to provide the same thing for all candidates?
Nope, you can select a cap. Anybody traveling further than 100 miles, for instance, you can offer a 1 evening night or in a hotel, or you can offer mileage to everybody, and from there, and that's it. I mean, again, it's what you feel comfortable with.
I think last time we had fly-in. I'm not mistaken, but I think now that's not the case, but I think we just do a mileage, and I think it's good for them to stay in the hotel and go and get to see the city kind of on their own terms, without people in their face, and kind of get to look at it. Maybe that's gonna help answer some questions later on, once they, you know, you can look at it on the computer or anywhere else, but just go get around all on their own. I think every one of them, I think mileage and the hotel stay for that evening would be, because none of them are very far. I mean, Appleton is by the city.
If I might, I did a little research on this, and I would recommend to you that you allow them one hotel night stay, and that you give them the government reimbursement for mileage. I think Joe's point is well taken. We want them here early, checking out our community, and they can do that on a Sunday, stay overnight, feel rested, be prepared for the intense questioning that they will get. But that's what I have seen in doing a little anecdotal research for you all.
I know Amy, when she was here, that day that she came early, she went to the hospital, she went to school, she went, she was all over the
She went to
community that
Whitman,
first
she went
day.
all over the place.
I think that's a great asset to have them investigate.
And if this is a Sunday, many of those opportunities won't be available to them. So if you're interested in that, maybe it's a different day, but
Do you need a motion for that, or is that just how it's gonna be?
So we're saying mileage and hotel?
Mileage?
I think a motion would be appropriate.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion then that we offer them a stay, one night stay in a hotel, the mileage, and a per diem.
So should,
Right, is that the three things that you wanted?
Well, we didn't say per diem, we need to talk about that, but I mean, yeah, they
Well,
probably.
so much for
they-
lunch, I mean, it's not.
Yeah, they
really
should
a
be,
ton,
you're right, they should have something, but.
You know, if you're gonna be here.
So what would you like for the per diem?
so should we,
What's
Whatever
our
the
normal per
government
diem?
rate
Is
is.
35 is what is it, $2 or 25? I don't
It
remember.
just depends on the,
So much for breakfast or lunch. or-
yeah.
Like what we do for the city employees?
Yeah,
so,
Okay,
so here,
let's
just
get,
another.
wait,
Hold on,
I,
I
it's
need
just,
a motion.
You made the motion.
I got the motion. Need a
Right.
second.
Got
I'll
a sec-
second. Oh, sorry, you can second.
Got a motion by Wayne to offer mileage.
We have one night stay, government mileage, and government per diem.
Right. You got a second by
Regs?
Clayton. Now we can have discussion.
so, since we want them to figure out a way to get them to go, give them the opportunity to visit, and Sundays are probably not the best, does that change our mind on the day that we want them to come up?
Would it be better to be on like the 3rd, so they came in on a Monday night? Is that what you're thinking?
I don't know, I'm just asking the question because,
I think that's a good idea, because I think they would get more involvement on a weekday than they would on a Sunday, when
Yeah.
all downtown's closed, basically.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I agree too.
So we'd have the interview on Tuesday.
The 3rd?
Just to
The
note, I
third.
did advertise the 2nd, so I will have to make sure that the candidates are able to make it in on the 3rd.
Right, because now they're gonna have to take 2 days off from their job rather than one. Yeah,
Yeah, if they wanted, they could come Saturday,
they could.
you know,
Yeah.
without taking off of work normally.
I think we should probably
Saturday's
leave it
not
to the
much better than
second,
Sunday.
if they
Le-
wanna come on
Leave it
Saturday.
as is.
Yeah,
Consensus?
I don't know.
I'd leave it as is.
It's doable, I'd like to see a change myself. But I just think that the more time they can get throughout the city and check it out on their own,
Yep, I
I
agree.
mean, obviously that was impressive when you actually can let these candidates do that on their own. It sure shows some
Initiative.
initiative on what they are looking for out of our city. So I mean, I would like to see a different day.
Well, I can certainly ask if they're available on the 3rd, and if so, we can plug that in and
So they'd come in on Monday the 2nd.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I guess at this point, maybe we just say it's tentative until Liza can find out if it's
I mean,
something
if
that
you
everybody
certainly
can
get
do.
pushed back, I guess, I think we'd be, most of us probably be, I think, I don't know.
If it works, it works. If it doesn't, go
Yeah,
to the
I agree.
original date.
Right.
Yeah,
So we'll see if it all, Liza will see if it works for the candidates, come a day on the Monday.
Tuesday the 3rd.
no, come in Mondays.
Monday,
and
May
then the interview on
2nd,
the-
we'd interview
Tuesday, you
on
have to come Monday.
So
Tuesday.
Monday would be like a meet and greet type of day after, or how are we gonna do this? We're gonna do that again? Is that,
Tuesday would be your meeting.
That'd be there all
Coming
day.
in on Monday to get used to town.
right, get used to the town during the day, but at night was the meet and greet. And then next day was interviews, that's how we did it last time.
I guess we can work out the logistics on this end as far, let's let Liza check out, see if it's doable for the candidates come in that Monday and interview on that Tuesday. Does that sound fair, Liza?
Yep, I will find that out. I'll start asking the questions tonight.
Okay. And then we got time, we can figure out the logistics, what we're gonna, if we're gonna do the meet and greet or how we wanna
Right.
proceed.
So again, Your
I think
Honor,
we need to, like last time, I think it was very important, I think it makes all the constituents feel like they're involved in what's gonna happen with the city. I think the meet and greet is a great thing, that's me personally. We had a pretty decent crowd there, it wasn't huge, but I mean, I think some of the community would have, some different questions. And us as council could just sit at tables and listen how they answer them. I know that was a big part for me.
You bet. And I do have a community and staff meet and greet scheduled for May 2nd. I had it scheduled from 11 to 12:30 to capture, those during their lunch hour or. So it is included no matter how this schedule gets worked out.
I think the night worked better for people and they're off of work. They're not, they don't have to take time in their lunch hour or anything else. I thought last time was perfect. I thought it worked perfect last time, but.
Before you vote on that, Your Honor, would you like to change that do you want them all to have a night in the hotel, or only if they're over 50 or 100 miles? or-
I think everybody stays in a motel.
It gives them the whole day to do what they need to do and look around the city and see it. That kind of shows how interested they are too, so.
If they use it, they use it. They don't, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
so I have a motion that one night stay, government mileage, and government per diem. I have a motion and a second on that, Your Honor.
Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Normally we do roll call, but that's all right. Yeah.
Aye, everybody's got it. Sorry. All right.
Just to throw out there, like, if we don't get a candidate out of this, what would be your recommendation for a plan B down the road what could we change? What could we, salary or, is there something, that you could kind of look at down the road? I guess I just want to be ready in case this doesn't work out or whatever, to keep the time frame rolling, so we're not going into the following year looking for this candidate or whatever. And is there something off the top of your head, or can you investigate that, just in case this doesn't work out?
And Liza, can I also add to that really quickly? I don't know if there tends to be a time that more people in these positions tend to start to search, if it's due to like budget cycles or what have you. But it would be interesting to see like when people tend to be looking.
Actually, the beginning of the budget year, in January through this summer, that's usually when we see our highest number of candidates. As I mentioned, this year is very different. We are not seeing the numbers that we typically see. So I believed we were hitting the right time. So it is unfortunate what we're seeing right now. And that's why it's just really unpredictable. I'm not sure how different the market will be if we were to turn right around and start advertising the day after your interviews if it doesn't work. It will be unique, but again, I think the work that you guys started last night, if your media can partner with you and demonstrate how you guys are really working hard to work well together and by understanding your roles and running efficient meetings, I think that can go a long way. Because when I did this search process before, I heard feedback from potential candidates, either they withdrew once they already put their application in, or they weren't interested at all because of what they had read and what they had seen in your meeting. So I think that really goes a long way.
So-
It's a unique area of the state, and so that adds an additional challenge. So I think by making it an attractive organization for a city administrator to want to come to and to want to serve and lead, that's gonna go a long way.
So was there many applicants that pulled their application after they found out it was our town?
The first time, well, they know what town that they're applying to, so they
Oh.
either don't apply at all,
Oh,
or
okay.
or when I contact them and say, listen, I think this is a community you should look at, they'll either mull it over and they would respond, or they wouldn't respond at all. Or I had a few, like I said, that submitted their application and they withdrew it, and they had indicated that was the reason why they withdrew it. After doing their own research, they just felt like it wasn't worth their, this is a blood, sweat, and tears type of job. I've been a former administrator, so I know how much of your time and energy that you put into these positions. So you want to work for an organization that you feel like you can make a difference and that you're being supported. And, you can throw money at it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that will work, because usually your candidates are ones that love serving their community. This is a passion for them. I think that makes city administrators and managers different than, other sectors, and even some positions within the public sector. They really do it because they love being a part of that community and serving it, and working with a great council that has a clear vision and allows them the ability to carry out that vision.
Thank you. Okay, I think we kind of got everything in order. Anything else on the subject?
That's everything I have.
Okay.
I will provide an update. Like I mentioned, we'll send a press release tomorrow on the 4 semifinalists, and then I'll start asking the questions on whether these candidates are available to commit to the 2nd and the 3rd.
All right. Once again, thank you for your time, Liza.
You bet. Thanks so much.
Yep, enjoy the evening.
Thank you.
Thanks, you too.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, we are adjourned.